Hello, can you unmute our mic? Chinedu, Lekan.
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, let's just unmute. It's going to be an interactive class tonight. So let's just talk about all we have done so far. Let's talk about Solidity and how we compile and the rest of that. So,
We can go on.
let me just ask random questions so that you guys see something. The second line, if I'm to create, let's say, a Solidity file now, the second line in the code file, why do we need the second line? Anybody? What's the second line in the first place when writing a Solidity program? Hello, everyone.
So
Hello.
I can't say anything. So I can't say anything.
I said, when creating a smart contract, are you getting it? From what we have been doing, what's the second line? The second line of code you are going to write. And why do we write that line of code?
I feel is it Pragma?
Okay,
Then
you're
the
getting it. Pragma what?
Pragma, then the version of Solidity.
Wow, that's good, Kinsley. Any other person? Chinedu, what about you? Lekon? Hello? Can you guys see
So first
something?
of all, you say it's the pragma
Okay.
settings. Then
What do you say?
You set the pragma setting, like solidity less than 0.8, all those numbers, even though I've not gotten the meaning of those numbers particularly.
Okay, that's a good one. Lekon, do you have anything to say? Okay, so that's correct. So the second line is pragma solidity. So remember, there should be space between the pragma and the solidity. Then you tell us the version of the compiler you want to use it. So it's either you tell us the exact version of compiler you want to use or the range of the versions that you want to use. So what we have been doing so far, we have been doing equal to or less than so version, then we leave a space, then we do greater than so version or less than so version. So now that line of code tells us that, okay, I want this smart contract to be compiled by, let's say, a compiler of version 0.7 or between 0.7 to, let's say, 0.82. So that's what that line stands for. So that's a good one. Thank you, Kinsley. Thank you, Chinedu. Okay, let me ask another question. What's the difference between public and private? If I locate a variable now and I make it private, what will happen when I compile it? Hello?
The public and private just means if you put a solidity in private, it means that it's only accessible to the developer. But if you put it in public, if you run it, it can be accessed by anybody that runs the program.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you so much, Chinedu. So when we say public simply means that it can be accessed outside of the smart contracts by other programs, maybe from your React application, even on Remix, the Remix ID we're using. If we deploy it, you are going to see the list of all the variables that are public at the left-hand side, at the left-hand pane. Are you getting it? I'm going to see everything. But if you make something private, it is not going to be visible. Are you getting it? You can only access it from within the smart contracts. It's not possible for you to access it outside of the smart contract. That is a thank you, Chinedu. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What are the data types that we treated? What are the data types we treated? Hello.
We treated string,
What do you say?
string, string. We treated string, um,
Okay, string.
numbers,
That's good.
um,
That's good.
then
Numbers.
true and
Okay.
false. With
Okay.
Boolean true or false.
Okay.
I've forgotten the other ones, but these are the ones I remember.
Okay. Let me remind you. Enum. We did enum, right? Enum.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. Then we did struct, right? So thank you. Okay. The one you called number is actually integer. Are you getting it? It's a number. Are you getting it? But it's called integer. Then the true or false. The name for true or false is Boolean. Are you getting it? The general name or the group name for values that are either true or false is Boolean. Do you understand? So if I'm to declare a solidity variable, how do I declare it? Anybody? Hello?
Okay, let's say we
Let's say
want
I
to
want to declare. Okay.
declare a solidity variable. Like the data type now. Let's
Okay.
say how do I even put this?
Okay, let me do it
Okay,
like this.
okay.
Declare a variable that any variable, just give it any name that holds the value hello world. Hello world. Let me see how you're going to do it. Go on.
String. No. Okay,
Okay.
okay. Oh god, is this string?
Okay. You're getting
String
it.
then. String then hello world, I guess.
Okay. Any other person? Thank you, Kingsley.
Can I try?
Lakon, you can. Go on.
You declare the public
Okay.
string,
Okay.
and then you give it the variable name.
Okay. Thank you,
Maybe
Kingsley.
something like
Lakon, you actually how will I put it? You got it. Are you getting it? But you mixed the arrangement. Are you getting it? You mixed the arrangement. So when declaring a variable in Solidity, the first thing you state is the data type.
Right.
Are you getting it? Not the visibility. Integer. Then
So you
after
tell us
telling
the
us
string or
the
it's
data
the
type, the next thing you tell us is the visibility, which is public. Then after that, you tell us the name of the variable. So instead of you saying public string and the name, can you now say it the right way?
okay, I guess you declare string,
Okay.
then public,
Yeah.
and then the variable name,
Okay.
and assign it the
Okay. That's good. Thank you very much, Lakon. That's good. Thank you. Okay. Um, what about numbers? How do you declare numbers? The same way.
Uint.
Okay, uint.
Uint, the same thing. So
Okay.
yeah, uint 256.
Okay. What's the U? What does the U in uint stand for?
Unassigned integer.
Okay, it is called unsigned. Unsigned.
Okay. Okay,
Unsigned.
unsigned. Sorry, unsigned. Yeah, unsigned.
Okay, that's good. Okay, why is it unsigned? Why do you say it is unsigned?
Because is it about only positive numbers?
Only positive numbers. That's very, very
Yeah.
correct. I think that is very
Okay.
correct. So
Okay.
unsigned integers are for holding positive numbers, while the signed one, the ones without U, are for holding, both positive and negative numbers. So that's a good one, Kingsley. That's a good one. Okay. What else? What else? We talked about the ranges, have we? Did we talk about the ranges of integers? The variants of integers. Can you list them for me? Can anybody list them for me?
Yeah, we did.
I think int 8, int 32,
Okay,
int 256.
okay, instead two. Okay,
And,
okay.
that's what I remember.
Chinedu, what about you? Chinedu.
U int 8, U int 32, U int 256. I think U int 128.
Okay, okay, that's good. Okay, you guys seem to be skipping 16. 16 is also part of it. Okay, let me list it. It's from 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, then 256. The same thing for uint and int. She gets. So it's from 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and 256. Just those 5 variants, both for uint and ordinary signed integers. Okay, thank you. So, if I want to assign a variable, let's say, let's say I have a solidity variable. Oh, okay, I'm coming. What else can I? Okay, where do we use enums? Where does using enum comes handy? Anybody?
Enums when there are a lot of string assignments. So
Okay,
instead of using like string to declare all the one by one, you just use enum to declare all of them once.
perfect. Thank you so much, Kingsley. So instead of you having different variable names and assigning values to them, you can just group everything under one data type. And enums is an example of what data type. Chinedu Lekan, what type of data type is enum?
User defined data type.
User-defined data type. Fantastic. So it is user-defined. So what makes it user-defined? Because you are the one what's defining it. You are telling us the values is going to what accept. So the difference between an enum and an integer is that an integer is, follow come. It's predefined. Do you understand? So it is predefined. It is the people who wrote Solidity that defined it for you. It is already defined inside the what? Inside the language. I get it. That is why it's not a user defined. But the user defined ones are the ones that you write by yourself for yourself so that you can use it for yourself. So that that's good. Okay, let's move on. Why do you need a struct? Why do we need the struct data type? Why can't we just, let's say I want to create a user now and I want to store the username, password, email, and so on and so forth. Why do I have to struct? Anybody?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, I feel it looks like an object
Okay.
in Solidity, so it's like more of like you are creating like well, I'm trying to get this sorry.
Okay, just put it anyhow.
Okay, you're more like creating an object, like defining it in Solidity. That's what I feel struct does.
Okay, that's a good one. So struct are just like objects. If you have written any programming language like JavaScript, so you can think of struct like an object. I get it, but then it's just you get so it gives you like a blueprint for this for defining, some entities. Let me just call them entities. For instance, if you want to like the example I gave earlier, if I want to create, let's say, user that should have username, password, and maybe email. Now, what I can do is I can create 3 variables: username, password, email, for one user That means that if I want to create another user, I will have to do the same thing. Create another user, I have to do the same thing. It will be hard for me to track all the variables that are pertaining to just one entity. But with data types like structs, I can group everything in one place. Are you getting it? I can do what? Group everything in one place, and it will be easy for me to do what? To manage. So a struct is just like a blueprint. You can think of it like a blueprint. So when we say a blueprint simply means like something like a template that okay, oh, if you have a struct that has username, password, and let's say email, it means that any variable, let's say user one, that you're creating out of that struct must have all those properties that are stated inside the struct. Do you understand? Hello? Do you understand? Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like a blueprint.
Sir,
So thank you. Okay, you have a question?
Okay, sorry, I want to say that the attendance is in the chat. Please do help to fill the form. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Imaging.
Everybody.
Okay, so let's move on. If I okay, why is Solidity referred to as a statically typed programming language? Why? Why is it called a statically typed programming language?
Because you have to declare the data type before you can assign.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That is very that's a good one. So you have to tell the Solidity compiler that okay, oh, this variable here is going to have this particular type. So that's the reason why it is called a statically typed programming language. So the opposite of a statically typed programming language is what? Anybody? If a language is not statically typed, then what is it?
dynamically typed.
Um,
Lakon, are you saying anything?
it is dynamically typed.
It's dynamically typed. Correct. Thank you, Lakon. So a language that is not statically typed is dynamically typed. Okay. When you compile the Solidity program, you get two things. What are the two things that you get when you compile the Solidity program? I showed you guys I think the first day.
And
What is
your
it?
if you get your contract address and you
Okay.
get your contract ABI.
ABI. Okay. Any other person? Thank you, Kingsley. Chinedu and Lakon, do you have anything to say? Do you guys have anything to say?
You get a byte code
Okay. And what?
and your contract address.
Okay. Chinedu, what about you? Thank you, Lakon. What about you, Chinedu?
I remember API address.
What is it?
I said
Hello?
ABI.
Okay, and what?
Address.
Okay. So Kingsley said the contract address and the ABI. Okay, ABI is correct. I get it. But you don't get the contract address. What you get is not really the contract. What you get is not really the contract address. Then Lakon said the byte code and the contract address. The byte code is also correct, but I don't know where you guys got the contract address from. Do you understand? So the correct answer is the ABI and the byte code. So when you compile a Solidity program, you get the API and the byte code. So what's the function of the ABI? The API helps your, let's say, your client application. Solidity is just for smart contracts. You still have to integrate it with a client application. Let's say React or JavaScript, or let's say Flutter, or let's say React Native. So you still have to integrate so that users can do what? Can interact with it. So how do you make your React application interact with your Solidity program? Or how do you make your Flutter application interact with your Solidity program? That's where the ABI comes in. I get it. So the ABI fully stands for Application Binary Interface. I get it. It's just like the name says, interface. It's interfaces between the smart contracts and your front end application or your client side application. So the bytecode is what gets deployed on the blockchain. Are you getting it? Remember, the computer does not, in its normal state, understand all these things we are writing. All these things are so high level for the computer. Computer cannot understand all these if statements, all these if, else, for loop, while loop. Computer does not understand all those things. I get them because they are too high level. What the computer understands is the strings of zeros and one. Do you understand? So that's why you have to do what? Convert your programming code or your source code into the form in which the computer is going to understand, which in this our case is the bytecode. So we get the bytecode and we push it to the what? EVM. So the EVM is what runs our Solidity program. Do you understand? The EVM is what runs it for us. Again, so when you compile your smart contracts, you get two things: the ABI and the bytecode. The ABI allows your application or your client-side application to interact with the smart contract, while the bytecode, on the other hand, is because that's what you get. That's what you deploy. You actually deploy to the blockchain or to the EVM. Is that understood? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Did you ever write any function? Did you write any function? Have you written any function in the course of our Solidity class? We have not, right? Have we?
I don't think so.
What is it?
I don't think so.
Okay, we have not written. What of a constructor? Did you write a constructor?
Yeah, we're written a constructor.
Okay. What's the constructor? Explain what
It's
the constructor is.
it's
Right?
the part of the code that
Okay.
runs when the program is initialized.
Thank you very much. Perfect. So when you deploy your smart contracts, the moment you deploy it, the function, a constructor is also a function. Are you getting this? Maybe in the next class when we start talking about function, I also talk more on constructor. Do you understand? So a constructor is also a function, but then the difference between a function is that we call a function manually, but the constructor gets called for you the moment you deploy your smart contracts. Do you understand? Do you understand? So the constructor gets called for you. It gets called for you automatically. But other functions and methods, is it that you call
Okay,
them
sir.
by
Is it like
yourself?
it's sorry?
Okay, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, sir. I want to. Is it like okay? Is it like it runs only once? Hello, sir.
Hello, guys. Sorry, my phone went off. Just got my power bank. So somebody was asking a question. Can that person go on
Okay.
with the question?
Okay, I was asking a question. I was like, is that this constructor runs?
Okay.
He said it runs after um
Yeah,
the contract is being deployed. That means it runs only once, like just once, like when it's deployed, it runs. That's the only time it runs.
hello. Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
go on
Yes.
with the question.
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you too now.
Okay, I was like, so this constructor runs only
Yeah, it
once.
runs only once. The moment you deploy it. Do you understand? Not when you compile it, though. When you
Okay.
deploy it. So when you deploy the smart contract, that's where it runs for you. So what the constructor mostly do is to initialize your variables for you. So there are sometimes where you don't want the variables to have a fixed value. Are you getting it? You don't want them to have a fixed value. You want to put those values, or you want to set those values when you deploy the constructor. Are you getting it? So when you deploy the smart contracts, so the best place for you to do all those things is inside your constructor, so that by the time you want to deploy, they'll be able to set those values, and you're able to set the values and deploy. We see all these things in practice when we talk more on function, but your constructor is usually run once. Are you getting it? At the time
Okay.
of deployment. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is there another question from any other person or from Kingsley again? Chine, do you have a question?
No, I'm clear.
Okay. Lekon, what about you?
No, not really.
What is it?
I said not really.
Okay, no question. Okay, for now. Okay. Mm, let's move on to the next question from me. Mm, what's the name of the IDE we are using for our Solidity class? What's the name of the IDE?
Remix.
What is it?
Remix.
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 That's good. Remix IDE. So Remix IDE is just an online IDE. So one day, or in one of our subsequent class, we are going to set up a local ID, something that is local to our system. When I say local, I mean that something we can build on with from our own system. With Remix, if you are not connected, you may not be able to use it like that if you are not connected. Are you getting it? So we are going to set up our own local um, Solidity environment. You understand? But then Remix is a good start. It's a good way to start, because with Remix, you don't focus on what does not really matter. For now, what really matters is for you to get yourself familiar with the syntax of Solidity, understand how it gets compiled rather, and all those things. That's what really matter for now. So starting with all those installation and setup may bore you. So that's why Remix is a good start, or is a good way to start when learning things like Solidity. You understand? So we still set up. So thank you for that answer. Remix is the ID we are using, or we have been using. Mm, so let's talk about naming. So what are the rules of naming? What are the do's and don'ts of naming a variable? Hello, let's talk about naming. If I want to name my variable now, how am I supposed to name it? How am I not supposed to name my variable? Hello, guys.
From naming
Hello.
variable, you cannot use a data type that is not supposed to be. For instance, now, something like integers. The only thing that you declare in integers are numbers. Then unsigned and signed values. In unsigned values, you can only accept positive numbers, which means that every value you should assign to that variable unsigned will be only
Thank you.
positive. But if you assign negative, it means that the program is not going to run. It's going to show an error.
Thank you so much, Chinedu. That's that's a good one. So you cannot use a data type. So I think what you mean by a data type is keyword. I get it. So the most appropriate term is keyword. Although a data type is also an example of a keyword. Do you understand? So when declaring a variable, I cannot declare my variable as, let's say, int 32 or ordinary int. Why? Because the compiler already knows what int is, or it already has a meaning for the word int. So if I declare my variable with int, it's going to confuse the compiler. The same way if I declare my variable with, let's say, public. Now, remember now, public is not a data type. I get it, but it is an access specifier. I get it tells you the visibility of a variable. To what extent is this variable visible? Is it only visible inside this contract, or is it possible for you to, check the value or know about the variable outside of the contract? So that's access specifier. So if I name my variable public, it is also going to pose a problem for me because public is a keyword. Do you understand? So one of the rules of identifiers, or one of the rules of naming a variable, is that we should not use a keyword. So thank you so much, Shineru. Lekon and Kingsley, can you guys help me with the other rules? Hello.
Okay. What was that?
What do you say?
Okay, yeah. Okay. State variables like. Oh, sorry. Alright. Okay. Let's say a boolean now.
Okay.
A boolean is either true or false. You
Okay.
can't impute any other thing apart from that.
Okay. That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Um, that's correct. Again, that's one of the rules when writing um a Solidity program rather. But what I'm asking is that to name a variable, like if I want to name, let's say, a variable now, let's say I want to declare a variable to store, let's say, the age of a person. How am I supposed to name it? How am I not supposed to name it? Now, Chinedu has given us one of the rules that I must not use a data type, which I corrected to be, keyword, because it's not only data type that you should not use. You should not use other keywords like public, private. Do you understand? So the other ways, okay, let me just talk about the other ways. Thank you, Kingsley. The other ways is that you must not start your variable name with a number. Can you guys remember? You must not start with a what? A number. Starting with a number will cause compile time error. Also, you cannot use special characters like question mark, hyphen, full stop, colon, and so on and so forth. You can't use all those things inside your identifier or inside your variable name. Remember, another name for identifier is variable name. So when you hear me say identifier, I'm talking about variable name. When you hear me say variable name, I'm also talking about what? Identifier. Do you understand? So the rule number one is you can't use a keyword for your variable name. Also, you cannot start with a number. Now, a variable name can contain a number. I get there's nothing wrong with you containing your variable name with a number, but then it becomes an error when you start the variable name with a number. Also, now a special character cannot be found in your variable, should not be found in your variable at all. Are you getting it? A number is still tolerable if it is not at the front or if it's not starting the variable name. But for special characters, it's not acceptable at all. Do you understand? The only special character you can put in your variable name is the underscore. Underscore. That's the only thing you can add to your variable name. Other special characters are not welcomed in Solidity identifier. So that's about that. Also, identifiers are, I don't know if I talked about case sensitivity in Solidity. Identifiers are case sensitive. Are you getting it? In fact, everything in Solidity is case sensitive. Now, can anybody tell me what case sensitivity means? What do you understand by the word case sensitivity? Anyone?
Just means Solidity identifies what is capital and what is small. Like for instance, the best case is used in Solidity is camel case, where the first
Okay.
letter is a small letter, then the next one is a capital, and then as one as also.
Okay. Thank you. That's a good try. Okay, what they really mean by case sensitivity is that when you write a variable, let's say in capital letter, it is not the same thing as writing a variable in small letter. For instance, my name is Toby. Hope you guys know. My name is Toby. Now, if I'm to spell my name in Solidity and I write small letter T, small letter O, small letter B, and small letter I, those four are in small letter, right? Now, if I come to another place and I write capital letter T, capital letter O, B, and I, those two things are not the same thing. Because one is in what? Small case. That's small case. The other one is in what? Uppercase. That's what we mean by case sensitivity. Writing in small letter is not the same thing as writing in capital letter. That's basically what case sensitivity means. Now, back to the rule one. When we talked about the rule of identifier, we say that you cannot use identifiers as what? As your variable name. That means I cannot use public. Are you getting it as what? Variable name. But remember, from what I just said now, that um, Solidity is case sensitive. Are you getting it? So if Solidity is case sensitive and public in Solidity is a keyword, are you getting it? Now, public in Solidity is a keyword when all the letters are in lowercase. Okay, let me come again. In Solidity, public is a keyword when all these letters are in lowercase. If you observe, there is no keyword that we have ever typed with a capital letter. Is there any keyword? Is there any keyword that we have ever typed with a capital letter since when we have been writing our code?
No.
No. So that means that we have to follow a particular casing. Are you getting it? So if public is small letter, and like if all the keywords we have been writing is small letter, it means that if I decide to name my variable public, but the public is in capital letter, the compiler is not going to say anything. It's not going to do what? Say anything. Why? Because small letter is different from what? Capital letter. In the Solidity compiler, what the Solidity compiler recognizes is the small letter version of public. So if I decide to name my own variable as capital letter public, it's not going to throw any error because they are different. So the bottom line is that, or the conclusion is that in Solidity, writing something in small letter is different from writing it in what? Capital letter. I'm going to show you this also in the next class. I get it so that you can understand what I'm saying better. You can visualize it better. Are you getting it? So in Solidity, we also talk about everything is case sensitive. Writing in small letter is different from writing in capital letter. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? So
Yes,
that
sir.
means, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So that means that my keyword now, that's first rule of identifier now, that you must not use keyword. That means if I decide to name my variable, let's say int 32 with capital letter, will I be wrong? Will I be wrong? Anybody?
Subis, come again, please.
Okay. from the rules of identifier, we are told, or we are told not to use keywords for our identifier, right? Right?
Yes.
Now, from the way Solidity is being, is being built, it is a programming language built by people. So from the way it's being built, we are also told that Solidity is a case-sensitive language. Now, if int32 is a keyword in Solidity, does that mean that if I want to declare my variable and I use capital letter int, that I'm not going to get error? Am I going to get error if I use capital letter int? That's my question.
Yes. Yes.
Am I going to get error?
No.
I'm not going to get error.
Yes.
Who
We
said
have
no?
error.
Okay, who said
Yeah,
I will have?
no. You're not going to get it.
I'm not going to get error, Kingsley.
Ouch.
Okay, let me let me explain it again. Remember, I said that when naming a variable, you should not use keyword, Abby.
Yes.
Now, we are not saying that Solidity is case sensitive. Case sensitive, Abby.
Mm. Yes.
Now, in Solidity, int32 now is an example of a keyword, isn't it?
Yes.
But then the int32 as the keyword is not uppercase int32. It's just lowercase int32. That means everything is written in what? Lowercase. So int32, small letter I, small letter N, small letter T, then 32 is a keyword. But if I rewrite it as capital letter I, capital letter N, capital letter T, then 32, it will no longer be a keyword because Solidity is a case-sensitive language. And in Solidity, the lower case version of int32 is what is seen as a keyword, but the uppercase version is not seen as a keyword. You understand? So if I declare my variable as int32, that's the capitalized version of int32, I'm not going to get any error. Do you understand it now?
Okay. But sir, are
Okay.
we allowed to use keywords for variables? Because
Okay.
just like payable now. Let's say you want to do transactions, payable is a keyword.
Okay.
Is it right to use payable? I feel just like JavaScript now. JavaScript, if you use a keyword as a variable, I think it will throw errors.
Yeah,
So
it's clear. Yes. Okay, I get your question. Okay, your question is what I'm trying to explain now. Are you getting it? Now, when they tell you not to use a particular word as a variable name, are you getting it? They're telling you that you should not use it as it is being stated inside the compiler or inside the interpreter. Now, how is it being stated? For Solidity, everything is written in small letter, isn't it? Hello, isn't it?
yeah, yes, yes.
The same thing for JavaScript too. If you have written JavaScript, let's say you want to declare a variable or a constant using the keyword const. How do you write the const? Do you write it in capital letter? You write it in small letter, right?
Yes.
CONST, small letter. Now, what the interpreter or what the compiler recognizes is the small letter version of the const. Do you understand? The interpreter or the compiler does not recognize the capital letter. So that means you are free to introduce the capital letter version into your program, although you should not do it. Are you getting it? But you are free to do it. If you do it that way, the compiler is not going to throw any error. Are you getting it? Because what the compiler recognizes is the lower version, the lowercase version, not the uppercase version. Do you understand? So when writing your programs, you can actually use the keyword when you're not using the case. Are you getting it? When you're not using the recognized case of that keyword in the programming language as your words identifier. But you should not use it. Are you getting it? You should not use it. Why should you not use it? Because it may confuse you. Do you understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So it may confuse you. That's why you should not use it. Are you sure you are getting it?
Yes, sir. I'm
Or
listening, sir.
okay. Okay. Can you explain what I just said? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain it?
No, sir.
Okay, it's fine. Don't worry. With time, we are going to.
Okay, so what I was actually planning, I'll probably I'll go back and study to understand better.
Okay, no
I'm
problem.
so
No, it's
sorry,
fine.
sir.
No, it's fine. It's fine. If you don't understand, it's fine. It's fine. She gets. One of the. I will always repeat all these things. She gets. One of the ways to teach is to always repeat things. She gets. And I don't expect you to like
Okay.
grab everything at once. Like I'll teach you everything at
Yeah,
once and you
I
grab
don't want to
everything.
drag you back. I'm so sorry.
What do you say? Hello, what do you say?
I didn't want to drag you back. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to drag you
Okay,
back. I'm so
okay, okay,
sorry.
okay. It's fine. So, thank you for today's class. I think we should draw the curtain here. So, in the next class, we are going to talk on functions. We are going to, work on functions. Then also we will talk about some of these things that is creating confusion to us, like case sensitivity and keywords. Do you understand? We talk about all these things too in the next class. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. I'm happy for for your response. Like the way you guys are answering the questions is making me feel good. Share it. Thank you guys for all of that.
Yes. Yes, sir. They
Thank
talk
you.
about attendance list that is on the WhatsApp,
Okay,
but I'm not seeing it.
okay. Let me check it. Okay, can you send it to me? Can somebody send it? I left the meeting before.
Hmm.
Let
I
me
can't see
try
mine.
sending.
What is it?
Let me send it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just sent it.
Miss. Thank you, Lekon.
Yeah, thanks for the class.
You're welcome. So I think we should just call it a day. Bye, everyone. Good night.
All right. You know.
Ochedo.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Almost like you say, you have sent it to the group chat, but I'm not seeing it.
Let me send it again. Let me send it again.
Okay. This is the right group chat.
It's not a WhatsApp group chat, though. It's this Telegram group chat. Take
Okay,
take
Telegram.
that.
Wow, what is
Just
Telegram?
press not Telegram. This Google this Google Meeting right now. Just press the three dots by the side and go to incoming messages. You will see the message.
Okay. Okay, I've seen it. I've seen it. Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank
Take
you
care.
very much. Okay.